guys, I'm Jessie, and today I have another book tag. Really, I've been slacking on doing book tags, so I decided to just film a bunch of them. So you're probably gonna get a lot of like tag content because I slacked on doing them. And there's a whole bunch that I had saved that I really want to do, so I'm gonna be doing them. And yeah, you're just probably gonna enjoy it or you're gonna skip this video. That's fine. Before we jump in, as always, down in the description below, I have links to my Discord and my Patreon. We're doing a lot of really fun things and buddy reads and live videos and all kinds of cool stuff you can check out down below. Alright, so now let's get into this tag. This is the Ideal Bookshelf tag, and it was created by my friend Kim over at Bookmarks and Breadsticks. I will leave all her information down below, as well as some links to some videos I've done unboxing her Bookish subscription service that I absolutely love because it is books and food. Like, you can't go wrong with books and food. Alright, the first question is the first book you remember reading as a child. And for me, I think the first book I remember really reading is either Call of the Wild or Seawolf, both by Jack London. I was a huge Jack London fan as a kid. Don't know why. Probably because I had this like weird obsession with like the cold and sled dogs and snow, and I wanted to be in the Iditarod. I'm a Central Florida girl. Like, why did I have this weird obsession with like sled dogs? Don't know why. Still really think they're cool. But I vividly remember reading like Call of the Wild, like White Fang, and then moving on and reading Seawolf, all by Jack London. And I loved them. I still love them. Like, I just do. They're probably my favorite classics. The next one is a book that you received as a gift that you still own today. And I have a lot, especially from like this past Christmas. Like, most of my books were gifts from you guys. Like, so many of my friends sent me some amazing gifts this year. Like, I can't thank you enough for that. It was like shocking. But okay, I don't have it on my shelf, but I have the first Harry Potter book that was given to me as a child by my mom's ex-boyfriend, and he like wrote a note to me in it, and like I don't know why, like it's falling apart. I probably should get rid of it, but like I don't know why I just held on to that forever. He wasn't even like a long-term ex-boyfriend, like he was a weirdo, but he gave me a book, so that was kind of cool. The third one is a book that was important to your teenage years, like high school age. I didn't read as much in high school. Like after middle school, I moved from Florida to North Carolina, and I didn't read as much during those years. Like, obviously Harry Potter was very significant in my younger years, especially having gone to a private Southern Baptist school where that caused a lot of issues. I've talked about that in other videos, but if you want a full like story time on Harry Potter and going to private Southern Baptist school, I got you. Let me know if you want that. I do remember reading Lord of the Rings in high school and thinking that I was too dumb to understand it. And I still have my copy. It's like the movie edition bind up, and I never finished it because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I was not ready for it. I also, in high school, I read a lot of classics because we had to, but then I also like really liked them. So yeah, I just don't really have a lot of like high school books I absolutely loved. I have ones that I never gave back from English class. Like, I'm pretty sure my copy of The Secret Life of Bees I kept and didn't give back after English class because I really liked it. Number 4 is a book that you can always go back to. And recently that has been the Mistborn series. I'm actually rereading it right now, and it just makes me so happy because, for one, it's like I've said before, the book that got me back into reading, that kind of got me into this reading community. and I love it so much. But also you kind of discover new things every time you reread it because it is so interconnected with the rest of the Cosmere, and there was so much foreshadowing in book 1 for book 3, and like I just love going back and just catching those little details. Number 5 is a book that brings you a feeling of pride, and I don't know, probably sort of Kaigen, because it was one of the books that kind of set me on that path to finding badass moms in sci-fi fantasy, because I had never really read any books that had mothers as main characters that are also like badasses, right? Like normally I had always read books where it's like either there were no parents or like the parents are trash or, you know, whatever. But moving more into like adult fantasy and seeing books with mothers as main characters, like I loved that. So yeah, I think sort of Kaigen kind of makes me feel proud. Number 6 is a book that brings you a feeling of wonder. And I mean, I'm a fantasy reader, so a lot of books bring me that feeling of like wonder and like amazement. But I think The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, it's just so whimsical and beautiful and lyrical and not what I thought I would love, but I loved it so much. I did a full review for it too if you want to check that out. But it's such a different book, but it really gives you that sense of wonder and whimsy and magic, and I love it so much. The next one is a book you've reread the most, or that you just one that you absolutely love. The books that I've reread the most are my Harry Potter books. I've reread them so many times since I was a kid. Recently though, probably my Brandon Sanderson books, my Mistborn books. I'm in the middle of a reread right now, and I've just been wanting to reread the rest of the Cosmere and just kind of catch up because I'm missing some books, but then I want to reread some that I read earlier because I didn't realize like the Cosmere was a thing when I started reading them. But yeah, pretty much anything but Brandon Sanderson. It's highly reread and rereadable. The next one is a book that you want to have on your shelves forever, and that is probably my like Barnes & Noble Classics editions that are like the really pretty leather bound. I have a couple of them. I have like an Edgar Allan Poe, I have like a Star Wars version. They're just so pretty, and I just would keep them there forever just to look at, even if I hated the books. Like I have a really pretty edition of like The Little Mermaid and picture of Dorian Gray, and they're just pretty classics. And if you've seen the Barnes & Noble Classics like leather bound editions, you know what I'm talking about. They're so pretty. They're some of my favorite like pretty editions. The next one is a book on yourself that you want everyone to read, and that's really hard because a lot of the books that I love so much are ones that I have a hard time recommending to everyone because my reading tastes are my own. Like I don't think a lot of people are gonna love them. Like I absolutely adore The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, but I don't think it's for everyone, but I recommend you try it out. And there's also the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, which I adore, but it's very strange. It's difficult to get into, I feel like, for a lot of people. It's written in second person POV for part of the time, and it can be confusing, and I love it, and I don't think it's for everybody, but I would love more people to read it. Like, pick up N.K. Jemisin, pick up R.F. Kuang, just try it. If you don't like it, that's fine. The next one is a book that reminds you of a specific moment or a period of time in your life, and there's a few. Obviously, I talked about the Harry Potter books and being a kid and going to private school, and like that was a debacle. Like, it was a thing, y'all. I told you I will do story time if you want to hear about it, but like it was a thing. And there's also, I remember reading the Twilight books when I was like 18, dating my ex-boyfriend at the time, and we went on a road trip to North Carolina from Florida to go back and like see my friends and family up there. And it was a disaster of a road trip, let's be real. It was a disaster of a trip. And we ended up having to like sleep at a road stop, at a like a truck stop thing, you know what I'm talking about? and that was a disaster because we just wanted to stop and sleep. Like, it was just a mess. But I remember reading the whole Twilight series during that disaster of a road trip. So that brings back some memories. I remember I read the Mortal Instruments series during Hurricane Irma because we were without power for like 2 weeks. So I just couldn't do anything. So I read the 6-book Mortal Instruments series during Hurricane Irma. Like, there's a lot of books. I am very big on associating things with different times in my life and different time periods. And I'm sure I will look back at this time in my life and find a book that like I associate with that. So I love that. The next one is to tag friends. And I'm the worst at tagging people. So let's see who I can think of off the top of my head. I want to tag Ola at the Reading Witch, as I love her channel. She's literally so nice, and I love her. She has the coolest like tarot card videos, like books and tarot. Like, I absolutely love it. And then I'm going to tag Fit to Be Read. He is a like newer booktuber. He's got some really cool like sci-fi fantasy videos. I will tag him down below. And then I'm gonna go with Evie from She Was Only Evie. Again, she's like newer and I love her to death. She's so funny. She has an adorable dog, one, and she makes the funniest Alan gifs in Alan's Discord. I love her for that. Like, let me just be real. Those Alan gifts that she comes up with are freaking genius and make me laugh every single time. So yeah, those are the people I tag. If you want to do this, I highly recommend you do. I have everyone's information, all the stuff in the description box below. And hopefully you had fun, and I will see you next time. Bye.